Hey guys, WeQuilt Studio here, and today I'm going to show you a little bit about the new update for the TCQ quilting app. And basically what the update is doing is it is allowing you to import fabric that you can then make like a color palette with. So you don't have to use this one, or you could just use both. So I'm going to show you just kind of the ins and outs of it so that you can use it to your best advantage. So this is screen one. This is what you'll see. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a swatch, a color swatch. So I have included a swatch template. So I put it in the in-app folder. So it would be this button right here, in-app 1, because I'm on screen 1. And it's all the way down at the bottom. And it's just called the palette template. So we'll click that. And there you see it. And it's got 16 squares, so you could put 16 colors in there. And so we're going to use that to put all our colors in from whatever fabric we import. And then when we're done, we're going to save this and then import this in this position so that the color swatch or color palette will kind of resemble this, your regular default, but they'll be, big squares, and you'll be able to use both. So the first step was to include import or upload my palette template. And then now I'm going to upload my fabric. Now I've taken some pictures of my fabric, and my problem is that I wash my fabric first, so it gets kind of faded. So then my pictures aren't that great. And sometimes I don't even use the fabric until the fabric's not even on the internet anymore. So I couldn't even download a swatch, of the fabric. But basically what you want to do is you want to take a picture of your fabric with your lighting kind of facing you or facing down on the fabric, and one of those filtered lights. Hopefully, if you don't have one, you could put maybe something over it. Not that great at photography. So, but then you'll edit the photo and make it into like a perfect square. It'll say a 1-to-1 ratio. And I'll kind of show you how I do that before I even upload the fabric. So I'll just go to, let's see, where do I have my swatches? One sec. So this is a fabric that I've already edited and I've already cropped it. But if I click revert here, I can just, you'll see what it was like, revert to original. So this is basically what I had. And of course I can rotate it. So I'm in the edit portion, and you can see how my lighting, I've got it's light over here and dark over here. And when I edit this photo, I put my camera right on top of the fabric so that I can try to get it as close to the true color. So I think when I cropped this, I probably tried to crop it down here because this darker red was closer. So you just basically grab your corners and you look, see how it says 4 to 5, and then it gets bigger. I'll bring this up. Okay. And then I'm going to bring it in. I'm going to look for 1-to-1. Up there it was. Let me go to the left. There it is. So then there you go. And then from there, I usually edit it to see if I could get it sharper, better, more true to life. I have a Samsung Galaxy type phone. Whoops. And these are the 2 buttons down here that I just basically use. The first one is like where you can choose different, original, auto, and then all these different names they have. Crystal, Shiver. Shiver usually looks the best for me on my phone. And you can go ahead and click on these like color temp, but I find they don't really do much. If you click saturation, you could even try that. And contrast and just about everything. Now let's see. On this particular contrast, going to the left makes it fuzzy, going to the right makes it sharper. And so then when you're done with all of these little things here, which I don't really use that many, like I said, I just click this shiver again, and then I go into this one where this button here that has more of the light balance options, and I usually just use the first 3. So maybe light balance, I see, does it need to be brighter or darker? And then I go here to brightness. Brightness is usually kind of, there it's a little darker. And then this would probably be the last one, exposure. And that's usually the most helpful. So I'll do something like that. And let's see. Oh, there's contrast again. So I've already done that, but there's another one. I thought it was sharpness. Maybe it was just the contrast. There's everything again. Tint, I use a lot. So I guess I do use the rest of these. If this tint were, too much red or too much green or whatever, like say this was orange, I'd want to, let's see if I come over here, I can't really tell. If I look at the beige, I could tell if it's getting more green or more beige, but you'll be able to tell on your phone. And then once that's done, I just click save. Let's see, temperature. Let's see if that's brighter. I'm going to try to make it darker on temperature. So I'll just click save. And then from there, I know that my phone goes to certain gallery albums. So I would then, this phone is already in my gallery, but I would just go to my gallery. See, it's already in there. And it's already in there. So, well, let's go to a different folder. Let's say I went to my swatches folder. Here's some of my swatches. If you go to your, say, fabric folder, everybody's is different, but mine is those 3 dots. I just add the items. And the item I would be adding, of course, is the one that's already in there. And it was in here, and I would be adding this. And then I would just click done, and I usually say move. And there you go. And so now that's in my swatches folder, which it shouldn't be in there. So I'm just going to select it and delete it. But you kind of get the idea. So you want it in your albums that the app will go to, and that's always according to your own phone. Everyone's phone is different. So we'll go back to the app. So again, I have my palette template uploaded from this button here. Now I'm going to upload some fabric. I'll probably upload, so here's my fabric album. Here's a bunch of fabrics that I've been playing with. This one's kind of fun. I've had this forever. I think it's Moda Kansas Troubles. I mean, you can't even find this fabric anymore. But so I'll use this to make my template because then, you know, I can go and find fabrics that will match this either in my stash or at a store and according to whatever blocks I make and so on. And notice I just hit switch. Switch just puts this at the top, so it's easier for you to then, you know, use the rest of the software. So I'll just start with, say, the yellow, and so I'll click there. There's a nice yellow. And I like to start at the top because maybe I'm not going to fill everything out. So that's the lightest color. I'll just put it there. And remember, if you click one of these two buttons, you're going to reset everything. So use your temp save often and maybe touch here for when you are scrolling back down. So maybe I'll try the darker yellow. And notice how it comes, it shows up here and down here. You know, because what if I wanted to choose one of these? I still want to see it. So that's not really yellow, but I did click in here. So I'll just put it in. Maybe I'll put it there. Maybe I'll try again. It's almost the same. That's a little different, but it might look very similar to my current yellow. It does. So I'll be good with those two. And then maybe I'll try this orangey. That's a little different. I notice it's got a little bit of, peachness to it. I'll just put it there. Temp save that. And the other thing is, I noticed that it picked up the lighter peach, but look at how there's a darker peach in there. I can have this still up and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, but it lost its peachness, so that wasn't helpful. Okay, so that one didn't work real good. And you can't click up there because if wherever you click on here, it's going to take this color and put it up there. So remember, you're only clicking down here for the color to show up there. Or I could have been assigning them here, and that's probably what I should have done. I'll do that for the remainder. So at least they're here as I'm going, because in case I need to go back, at least I have these 4 slots, you know, to mess with. So let's see, let's try that. Oh, look, I got the darker orange anyways, which it looks like that one. I'll just assign it here, and I'll just put it there. So I got a pretty good, nice, what do you call it? Transition, or a nice range. That's the word. Nice range of oranges and yellows. And maybe I'll try the reds. So that looks like a kind of maybe somewhere between the dark and the medium red. I'll just assign it there just to have it. And I'll put it like there. Temp save it. And see, since it's there, I could go and see if I can get the darker one without having to just use the darkening button. I don't know if that did it. Not really. That looks like it got darker. And yeah, it's a little bit darker. That's good. Let's see if I can get lighter. So I'm not going to put it there because I already have that red there. Yeah, I don't know if I can. Let's see. Oh, that looks like a almost like a peach orange. It is light. It is light. So I guess I'll just put it there. And then what I can do is I can click on here if I want just a lighter red, just to fill that line out, because you can use lighter shades of what's showing here, right? I can select this one, which was this one here, I believe. Yeah. And I can, see what happens when I lighten it up. So remember, I have it here. So as I lighten, I can see the difference and see if it's holding true. One, two, three, four, five. Let's see. That is a pretty red. I do like it. I mean, is it in the fabric? Maybe on the edges of this flower. I'll just put it there. It is pretty. And remember, I'm going to have this all down at the bottom, so I'll be able to click on it like I'm clicking on these swatches. But, whoops. So then I'll temp save. And then I think I'm pretty good. I don't have the really, really light beige. I don't know if I can grab it or not. Oh, look, there I got one. So I'll just put that here. And let's see about the dark blues. Okay, so that's pretty, I'd say that's almost as dark as the darkest one I've seen in there. And because I don't know if you can see, but there's little black lines. I could darken this. 1, 2, 3, 4. It almost looks like it's getting green, and you could see there is a little bit more green. Because remember, when these line up, that's a gray, either dark gray or light gray. So it does look a little more green. That's really not what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing more blue. And so I'm going to just try a different one. Oh yeah, that's got some purplish to it. Notice how the green went away. This does have a slightly bluish purplish tint. I'm going to use that instead of this one that was turning green. And I'm going to assign it there just in case I need it, and temp save. And let me make that one darker. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I see it. The green is winning again. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, the green is winning, definitely. So I got 92 and 82. I'm going to back these up. I'm going to go with that for the blackish, and I'll just put it there. So I think I have, I need these greens. I forgot. So that's that lighter, kind of like olivey. That's really a nice color. Put it there. But it is more olive. Notice the green is not winning. The red is. That kind of makes it. But that's a beautiful color, and it would go well with this fabric. Let's see if I can. That's a darker brown. I mean, I could add it. I guess I'll put it there. I wanted the olive color. That's a real dark brown. That's pretty much the same as this one, although this one's almost prettier. I could see it's a little different. It barely changed. So let's try to get the dark green. Okay, that's beautiful. So that's that dark around there. So we'll go with that. And maybe I'll add that there because maybe I will temp save it and I will darken that. Okay, so that's not giving me what I would need for the darkening. So yeah, it's really not. So let's go with, oh, that's different. Oh, that's what I have there, basically. Let me darken that because that one now looks like it's going to be brown-ish. Okay, it got a little bit more red in it, you can see, but I do like it. And I feel like it is in here, maybe on the edges somewhat. So I am going to use it. So I've got one more, and I kind of wish I would have maybe lightened this one to put there. So I should have put it here so I could lighten it. Let's just see if I can. That orange, I don't really have that orange. I mean, maybe it's this one. I'll just click that. Just want a really light color. Let me take that color, and that color looks really nice. I'm going to put it where the red is just so I have it in case I mess up as I try to lighten it. Or I just want to keep it and put it there, or put it, say, here, since these two are very similar. I can decide, but let's see. So that's 10, and you can see it's got like a lot of yellow. I mean, I do see that yellow in here. I mean, I have a slight yellow there. I could put it here, and then I can click this one and put it here because I liked it so much, and these two were so similar in temp save. So that's pretty good. So once I have my palette, I have temp save. I want to get to screen number 3 so I can save this and then bring it back and put it down here. So I'm basically, since I did temp save, I'm just going to hit see more. Takes me to page or screen 2, which right now I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to hit compare all so that I can get this on this screen. So this here's what I wanted, and I want to share save it, and I'll just save it to my drive, and I'm going to call it I don't know if this was Prairie Dreams. I think this was Prairie Dreams. I should go see. I'll just call it Prairie Dreams. So Prairie, let's P, and I didn't have to save it at all because if you notice, it had a huge timestamp, time and date. Prairie Dreams. And I'm just going to put blue, and I'll just hit upload. So it's in my drive. So now I'm just going to go to my drive. And, oh, I didn't see where I put it though. Hold on, let me go back. Share save. I wanted to see what folder it went. Oh, see, it went into Quilt screenshots. So I'm trying to think how I move things on here. I'll just do it again. So let's go, let's cancel. So it's on Quilt screenshots. I don't want it there. I want it in my app. and it's a swatch. So here's my swatches. I don't know why these are in black and white. Kansas, Andover, Little House, Marcus. But I'll just hit select because that's the folder. Whoops. Swatches, and then I'll just rename it again. Sorry about that. See, I took off the year or the year and the month and everything. I just left this in. So what did I say it was? Prairie. Dreams blue. And then upload. So now I'll go to my drive and I'll go into swatches. Okay, there we go. Prairie Dreams blue. I'll just click the 3 dots and click download. And then I'll go into my gallery albums. Oh, here's my swatches. But you know, you would pick your folder or album that shows up for your app. And I'm in my swatches album. I'll click the 3 dots, add items. Every phone is different. I'll just click recent because there it is there. But I could have clicked, instead of recent, I downloaded it, didn't I? Well, I think recent, oh, here's your downloads. So there it is there as well. It's already checked from when I checked it just a second ago. So then I'll click done and I'll move it just to save space. I don't need it in my download folder. So there it is. So now I know that it's in my phone, in my album. I'll go back to the app. I'll go back to the home screen. And now down here, instead of the fabric, I'll click upload fabric, but I'll upload my swatches, my swatch from my swatches album. And then I'll switch to get that up at the top. And now I'm ready to color a block. And I can color the pinwheel, or I can, bring in something else. So I can also fill this in with, say, 4 colors. If I don't want to keep going down, I can choose which 4 colors I want to use, because normally I don't use more than 4 colors on a block, but sometimes you will want to, which is fine because you'll always have this to go by. So maybe I'm going to choose this one. I'll assign it. And I usually want 2 lights and 2 darks. And maybe I'll go with this for my dark there. And then I'll choose another light. So I have the yellow. I think I'll choose, I don't know, should I choose that one? And then, so I don't have a red yet, so I'll choose one of my reds. So maybe I'll choose, I don't know, should I choose the medium red? I guess I'll go with that. And so then I'm going to just hit temp save right away, because remember, it saves these colors. So now I don't have to go down here, but I can if I feel like I don't like these. But so anyways, so I could fill in the pinwheel. You have your guide up here, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1 and 1, 2 and 2, 3 and 3, 4 and 4, and so on. Usually I use the right-hand side to fill in the blocks. Or you can just do it by memory, which is what I do. Or you can import or upload an in-app block, or you can upload a block that's on your phone that, you know, you got from either my website or from somewhere else, or, you know, just about anywhere. I'm going to bring in an in-app, and the easiest one for me to do while I'm filming is like the Hunter Star is pretty easy for me. So I'm going to do the star in these two ends first. So I'll start, I think what I'll do, usually though, when I do the Hunter Star, my outside colorings, I usually shadow them. So I probably, instead of using the yellow, I think I'm going to use this and then shadow it with something lighter. So see, I'm changing my mind already. So, and I'll show you what I mean when we get there. So I'm going to just use these two for the star. I know those are two dark colors, but for this one, I kind of like to do it that way. Maybe if I use the medium red, that would be better. This was a red that wasn't really, I don't know. I'll just stick with that. Was that the dark red or the medium? Let me see. Let me select this. Oh, it was the darker red. Okay, okay, I'll go with that, because then at least we'll have a little bit more contrast. And I'll temp save that. Okay, so I'll have my colors showing. So I'll start with the yellow, or not the yellow, I'll start with the red because I'm going to do the star. So I do every other, and then opposite of what I just did down here, opposite, or diagonal, I should say, and then the darkish. Okay, and then, like I said, for this one, I'm going to choose it, and I'm going to lighten it to get a shadowing effect for the, and I want it to be enough contrast so I can see a difference, but I could see there's a lot of red in there. So I'm going to back off on the red. I mean, that shadowing isn't bad. I do kind of like it. I mean, this is pretty dark. I could go with this one and lighten this one even. You know, let's see what would happen. Again, the red is getting ahead of itself. I'm at 245 on the red and 218 on the green. That shadowing isn't bad. Let me assign it and see. Maybe I want to back off on the green. I'm going to click here and go at, say, 210 and make color. Assign. Okay, lighter. They look a little too close. Oh. I'm already at 255 on the red. So I think I want a little more green. So let's go to, say, slide that over. It's at 233. Oh no, I went the wrong way. Let's go to 25. Somehow I just am not crazy about how that, it just doesn't have enough, I don't know, green or something. I'm at 159. When I bring more blue, it kind of dulls it out, I've noticed. 165. Because I want to make sure it still goes with this. It's really not staying where I want it to stay. Let me try 175. Yeah, I don't know. Let me back off on the green. 265. Oh, I went 250, 65. It only goes up to 255. Duh. 230. I mean, I guess it's okay. I want more red, but red's at 255, so you have to kind of take away some of the green then. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Okay, I just took away a little bit of the blue. I'm not really seeing it down here. Yeah, I'm not really seeing it. Let me just click one of these and go lighter and see what I get. Yeah, I'm not getting it. Click that again. I see the yellow, which there is a lot of yellow here, and maybe I need to be considering that. It is closer to what I wanted as far as tint goes. It's not really a shadow of this one, but it is kind of light. I wonder if I should try that. It might look good. I'm going to go with it. So I'm going to temp save those colors, and I'll choose, say, this one. And then go big, skip, big, skip, big, skip, big, skip. And then let's see how the yellow looks. If it doesn't look good, I could change my mind, but oh, it does look good. Okay. So see, it's slightly different than, what I pulled off the fabric, but this does coincide. It actually looks like that one. And I do like it a lot. So temp save and then see more. So there's my one block. And then down here, these colors are going to show up here, and for the third block, they'll show up. They're just in a slightly different order because this was made for the pinwheel block. So what I'll do then is, here's my palette. When I go ahead and upload the fabric now, or the palette, if I wanted to upload it again, I can. It's going to replace this because this screen doesn't really have enough room to have two of them showing. And so I decided to let it replace this, but you can always switch back to this at any time you want to use this. So I'm going to upload the swatch just so I have it, because who knows, I may not want to use these colors anymore. And I have to decide, well, what am I going to put there? So what I've been finding is I like a diagonal block, and then I like a straight block to use with like my main block. And block number 1 is going to go in the odds, though, and I keep forgetting that. I think what I'm going to do, guys, I'm changing up here because I keep forgetting. I usually like to put the focus block in the center of my quilt because I don't have a lot of imagination when it comes to designing quilts. The center of my mixer quilt on screen 4 is an even numbered block. So I should have put this in my even numbered block, block number 2. And it shows here that I can load this block here. And it loads it with the coloring and everything. You know, well, it's the same, but and then I can temp save 2. And now I can actually go back to 1 and put in something different or not. You know, I could put in my angled block or not. So let's see, my angled block, let's see, 1, 2, because in the middle is, okay, so my angled block is going to be an even number, I believe. See, I can't even remember because as you go through the blocks, there's 5 by 7, so 5, 10, 15. Let's see. I don't know. I'll have to kind of wing it. So I'm going to just go back and I'm going to just bring in something else. So I'm kind of winging it. And I'm going to bring in an angled block. I'll just use the cat's cradle. And, or not. Well, let me use something else. Let's see. I could just use a 9 patch in app. Or an Irish chain. I could do that. Jacob's ladder is always fun. And so if I want to get the colors back from that other app, I can hit load temp 1, see the colors came back. And then also, here's my swatch is still there when I hit the back button to come back. So I can still change this up again. I don't have to use these colors. So let's just say instead of that red, maybe I want to use I don't know if I go with the darker red or the orange. Maybe I'll use the orange. And instead of that one, maybe I'll use like this yellow. And then maybe I'll use this instead of that. Although sometimes I like to have the dark one in there. So I'm going to play it safe and put it back in. And then maybe I want, I don't know, this one. So then I have a new coloring. So this is going to be my new temp save 1. I'm going to, oh, I don't have to go back because let's say I load temp 1 again, right? Now I have my new coloring because, you know, I hit temp save. I don't have to go back and find the app. I just can hit reset in app. So it brings up the Jacob's ladder. So I'm just going to play it safe and do these. And then maybe I'll put, oh, because this normally I use only 3 colors on it. So I'll just use those. And then this is going to be really radical because I usually use something light here for the outer. So yeah, that is going to be radical. I don't know if I want to do that, guys. Let me undo. See, I can't take risks. I'm not a risk taker. Here's that same yellow. I don't have any silver. I can come back down here and choose my safe silver that I always like. I don't know how it would look, but you know, it's a muted color. And do I want the yellow in there or do I want the orange? I don't know. Let's see what would happen if I put the orange in. Or any one of these other colors. I'm going to go with that, I guess. So that'll be my new temp, say temp 1 for block 1, see more. I'll load temp 2, I already have that. Oh, these are going to clash. I can see it because the yellows don't, I mean, but they're all in the quilt, but still, I don't know how I feel about that. I think I might want to go back. Now, if I color over, sometimes it doesn't color over well, but if they're in the same color family, they do. I guess I'll go with this orange here. I'm not crazy about it, but it kind of colored over well. We'll just go with it. So we'll save that temp. It still might not look great. Let's see. I don't know. We'll wing it and we'll see how it goes. So, and remember, I don't have to use Kansas Troubles. It's just that, you know, these fabrics give you a great palette, you know. So if I switch here, see it's still there. They just give you a great palette. Then you could go and shop for these fabrics or shop, you know, for these fabrics that also have maybe some orange in them or whatever, you know. So here they are down here. I haven't used this one. And I'm just going to assign it. Going to be nice and try to be somewhat following, you know, my swatch. So I used these two. And did I use that one already? See, if I were doing this for my own quilt, I would have 4 colors and that's it. I would choose 4 colors out of here and I would have that for the whole quilt. I'm just trying to be daring, but I might have colors that are clashing. So just beware of that. So let's see. I can't remember. So I used that orange. So let's go ahead and let's just go with those. Well, no, I want to use red. And I don't think I used my dark red. We're just going to go with that. See, that's what I would use for the whole quilt because those go really pretty together. So I guess I'll upload something. So remember, these are on my website and they're free. I have them mostly in my long arm designs. I really like this 5440 block. It is kind of cool because they put these this way for the block. Instead of making a chain, people put them this way, which is kind of cool. So I'll just go with this for the red. So now this is going to be a different color red. Oh yeah, and they put, I think my lighting is going. I forgot. Sorry. Okay. I hope the lighting was okay throughout this. I didn't even realize it. So, so let's see. Yeah. So this, I think they kind of like just put it in there somewhere, 2 of them. And then, but usually they only have 1 color for the rest of it. So I'd probably choose this one. So we're going to be boring, I guess. And I'll temp save that. And then this is going to be an interesting quilt. I do not like that orange, just so you know. So we'll compare all. I'm going to save all of these real quick just in my photos so I can have access to them if I need to go back and change. So if I click Google Photos, there it is there, upload. It just quickly goes in there and I can access it quickly on this phone. And I'll just share. Now I just have to click once on Photos and upload. Oops, I just rotated that. When you click these, they rotate, see? Share this one, Photos. There it is there, upload. Okay, so now this button shows blocks 1 and 2, 1 and 3, and then also the mixer quilt. This button, I should say. This button just shows quilt block 1. This is just quilt block 2. This is just quilt block 3, and so on. So this is where the mixer quilt shows up at the bottom. And remember, if I click, say, on here, it'll rotate each of these. So it rotates it 90 degrees. Okay, so it didn't do much to this design. And this, you won't see the rotation because it's symmetrical. Everything is the same. So that's kind of cute with the orange. I was scared. I was really scared. So here's it with the fight or flight. And same thing, this one's symmetrical, but this one you'll be able to see. And it really doesn't change it. It just puts it in a different direction. So, and then, oh my God, I love it. Wow, I had no idea that would be so beautiful. Wow, I wouldn't change a thing. So this mixer quilt defaults to blocks 2 and 3. That is gorgeous. Usually I'm sitting here rotating and pushing, moving things around and bringing in finished blocks like those ones I just saved to photos. I could bring them in, but they're already here. But like previous ones, so I could go back and remake some blocks, but still have my 3 that I brought in, you know, these 3 that I put on in my photos. Oh my gosh. Okay. So both of these are symmetrical. So even if I rotated them, you'd never see a difference. Okay. Now you notice that, you know, block 2 is the evens, block 3 is the odds. So this row, remember, will, if I unlock it and I click on one of these, like the odds, if I click here, all of the odd numbered blocks will populate, so this will be gone. So you'd have this, which is blocks 1 and 2, which is just this quilt up here. Of course, they're rotated. Now, if I wanted to rotate this block on this quilt, I would just come up here, click that so that it rotates, then come down here, click this. Oh, it stays rotated to whatever this one is. So this one is now rotated back to its original. So now I'll click this, sorry. And now when I click this, it'll rotate back. So that's how you rotate these all at once. But remember, let's lock that row so I don't touch any of these by accident, which I do a lot. If you want to rotate anything individually, you just toggle the rotate on, and now I can rotate these, you know, if I want them. Say I want all of these going this way. Maybe make a checkerboard. Like I said, guys, I'm not that creative. Let's see then. Oh, wait. So how would I do that? I don't know. Yeah, see, I think you would have, I'm getting confused looking at all of these. In which case, if you ever do get confused, I click upload finished block. I have a lot of my finished blocks in here, quilt blocks for TSQ, and I look for the solid one of the solid ones. I could use one of those. There's a solid dark like this one. That's my lightest silver. And I'll just like, that goes on the even. So that would be replacing these just for a minute. I can unlock it. And there I wouldn't get confused now. You know, I could have done them individually where if I lock this row, reset this row, and then choose, say, this block, I could, oh, rotate is on, I always forget. So now, you know, I can take some away or whatever. But let's go ahead and keep this unlocked and let's bring this back on the odds. So if I wanted to go ahead and arrange these to try to figure out how to do a lattice type of thing, I could. I think you got to go like every other one. Like say, I would turn rotate on. Let me lock that so I don't mess up. Because I think like, let's see, that's that way, that's that way. Maybe that one goes that way. And then let's see if this one went this way. Yeah, see, I'm not good at this. Let's think about this. So this one would be over and under. And then this one would be I'm showing my idiotness. I don't know. Is that how I would do it? So diagonally they would be different. So that one, every other one diagonally, maybe. This one is different. This one, that one, something like that. And then I could unlock this and bring back the evens. That's interesting. So then normally then what I do though, and what I've been doing since I don't have a lot of, that's kind of cute how it makes a little star going around it. But normally I've been putting a straight on block on the vertical and horizontal around the center block. So instead of this being a diagonal, say I would reset. Now this allows you to just choose one of these. Say I chose that block, okay? Lock this so I don't click it, lock, you know, toggle the rotate off. So now I'm just working here and I want just this block up here. Normally what I've been doing is been putting a straight on block in those positions. Oh my gosh, is that gorgeous? Now I see why they put this in this manner with the two blocks like that instead of a chain. That makes a beautiful design. Oh my gosh. And then I was putting like a diagonal here, you know. So again, I would probably reset so I don't get confused. I would see I clicked this, good thing this was locked, or else then all the evens would have gone there. But if I chose this now, okay, this is off, this is locked, I chose this, and if I then replaced everything except for the ones I just put in, if I just went and quickly replaced them so I don't get confused, I can do that. And sometimes I do because, believe me, it's easy to get confused. And then I can reset it. I can choose this one and I don't want to change it. Well, let's see. These things are what's making this pretty circle. But if I put this diagonal, I usually put a diagonal in a corner of each corner, like there. That's where I put the diagonals, and then I toggle this on and rotate. So then they're coming off, and then maybe I'd put another one, toggle that off. This is on, maybe there, and then rotate, and then maybe from there I have my bearings. Now I can bring in a different block, and like I said, I haven't been real creative. I could just bring in a block that I know I kind of like the bear paw maybe for the corners, or I love working with the spool. Even though the color's not right, I can get an idea and then remake the color. I thought I had a bear paw that, now what colors are on here? I thought I had one in, did I have it in photos? This one has the red and the yellow. So now I'll reset, I'll click there, toggle this off, this is locked, and then put rotate on, get those pointing out. Okay, take rotate off right away. So now I'm getting somewhere. And now I can decide, do I want to put this throughout? Do I want to bring in other blocks? Do I want to have more of these? I think on one of them, well, no, I can't do that. If I just wanted to say fill in with this one, not everything, but some of them, I would say I would put it, first I have to select it. This is locked, that's off. Oh no, not that one. I was going to select, oh, I could select this one, but then I only have one of these. Okay, let me select this one. And I don't think I want it. Okay, so if I put it there, and there, that's kind of pretty. And then if I reset and put this, making, who knows what I'm going to make? I don't know. Here, make a circle around it. Okay, that's interesting. I usually bring the spool in, but this is creating this secondary design that I really like. But I probably have to put it there and there if I continue with the theme reset, and then this would happen. And I don't usually like these next to the bear paw. That's interesting. Now, should this have had a yellow background? This here, probably. I don't know if I have it with a yellow background. Let me see if I have. This on a diagonal has a yellow background. I could use that even though it's kind of brownish. I've been working mostly with silver backgrounds. Let's see, if I put this, reset, click there, that's off, that's locked. And then once I decide on my block, I could go and refine, you know, what blocks I'm using, but let's rotate. Although that was actually kind of pretty with them going like that. Let's try it both ways. Whoops. That's interesting. I have a lot going on here and here, but I don't know if I want to get rid of this. I don't know. I don't know what I would put in place. Let's see when it was, oh wait, like that. That makes something interesting. I don't know if I like it. I almost feel like maybe if I did that, it would need these. Oh, I have my rotate on. It would need this one. No, it's my bearings. Here, 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 and here. Yeah, I don't like that. Then I'd have to rotate that. That's interesting. So let's go back to selecting this, turn rotate off, that's locked. Let's put these back here. Sometimes I like a diagonal that's more busy, but I don't know. Let's rotate this. Okay, turn rotate off as soon as you're done with it. Yeah, that's interesting. So let me see if I have something to put here and here. I don't know if I want to or not. I can't decide. Because it makes kind of like a flurry here and here. That I do kind of like. I do kind of like it. Sometimes for that, I'll grab like the spool if I have it in with the, oh, here's yellow and orange. But remember, I didn't use any orange. I took the orange out. I didn't like it. What can I say? So this is selected. These are off. See, it took away, it made it more open. So now I just have that across. I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like it. So let's go back. I like that. I really do. So then I would save it and I would say to myself, okay, what blocks do I have here? And then I would remake the blocks that I need with all those colorings. So I already have the Hunter Star done and I have this one done. The Bear Paw is one I'd have to do, and then the 9 patch. So I'd have to do those two with this coloring. But I would take my screenshot. I would actually, at this point for me with my phone, I would just take a screenshot using my phone so that I have full access to it when I'm making the blocks. So I grab my power off and volume down button on my phone and I press them at the same time to do a screenshot, just so that it's quick for me. But of course, oh wait, I got the wrong one. I got this one. Let me try that again. That is so pretty. Okay, I would still do the regular screenshot just to have it. And I'll click it and screenshot successful. Would you like to share? Save? Yes. And then I'll save it in Drive. And I want to change the location to my app, Quilt Screenshots. They didn't used to be gray. I must have changed the settings. So that's my folder selection. And then I can separate this at the date right here at 2026 and have this whole long thing. And I could just back up and then rename it, or I could just, make it right at the time. Because what are the chances of that time being with whatever I'm naming this? So I usually start in the center. So it's the hunter. I'll just put hunt. And then it's a 9-patch. And then I'm just going to put fight, the fight or flight black. And then the bear paw. So I'll just put bear. And then I usually do a capital Q for quilt and then upload it. So then I would go back to my home page, and I know that I have to make this black, the 9-patch and the bear paw. So I could just go back, and then here I would, well, let's see, I'm not even using this anymore. So I'll go back home. So the 9-patch is an in-app block. So there it is there. And to get my coloring, now I still have that, but if I want to use the coloring, well, if I load temp 1 to get the coloring, it brings back that orange. Let me load temp 3 because that has more the coloring that I'm looking for. But now I'll reset it to the app, to my 9-patch, so I have my coloring. So what was I using? Was I using this and just this? Temp save. I'm not sure if that's what I was using. If I didn't know, I could always click this, go to, let's see, go to like my screenshots would be like my recent, and I could just look at it and say, okay, yeah, that's the coloring I used. But on the bear paw, I used the red with the yellow. So let's go back. So then this one, what did I have? Okay, we'll leave that. Let's see, that'll be in the evens. So we'll leave that so it goes in the center. And then the bear paw, the single bear paw is an upload block that's free on my website. So I have it in this album. There it is there. And so, but again, let's get the coloring, and then let's go to reset upload to get my bear. So I got my coloring. Yeah, but I used the lighter coloring for that. Yeah, I want to use this one. So it shows up there, and it also shows up there, and I'm going to assign it there. And now I'll temp save 3 so I don't forget. So I'm going to use the same black. And then is that the same reds? No, because I used the medium red. I think on this one, I don't know if I want to use the medium red. I really like the dark red. So let's see, my swatch should still be there. Yeah. I'm going to click this. I don't know which one I like better. I'm going to color over this. Oh, it's so pretty. I love it. I'm going with this. So then this will be my new temp save 2. And then I'm going to use this red down here, the darker red. Okay. And I'm going to use the same yellow that I used there. I'm pretty sure that's it there. Yeah, it is. I'll put that, well, let's see. How did I have it? So I had yellow. Oh, I had silver. I don't like that. Okay, so I'm going to change that up. I'm going to use, let's see if I used, oops, I hit a sign. I meant to choose. Good thing I have that. I meant to click this. What would happen if I put that? Would that be too dark for the bear paw? I kind of like it. I mean, there's this one. I mean, I could go with the darker yellow or more orange. Like if I chose this yellow, I don't like it. Undo. Let's undo those. Well, I don't remember what I did now. I think I had that one. Oh, that's the one I had in there. So there's that one. Let me bring this up. So that's that one. Okay, that one's a little more red in it. I like that one. So I'll temp save that. And then everything is saved. This was temp saved. So we're gonna, this one's already in my photos. I'm gonna put these in my photos just because I like them. And you never know. There it is, upload. And then I'll move them over. If you have to download them and then move them over to your album. So, and this one too, I'll just put it in there. It's quicker than putting it in Drive, but then you still have to download it. And then if you delete it from photos, I think it deletes from your album. So I'm still a little fuzzy on that. But, so let's go see now if I can recreate this. That's cute. Oh, look at that with the bear paws. And you could still go in and like, you know, click individually on just these simple ones if you wanted. Make something completely different. Let's see, what would it be? Oh, these don't have anything. But, you know, you could do the old thing with the diagonals and change it up and everything, you know. But I'm not going to do that. That's cute too. So that's 2 and 3. Look at all those bear paws. So right away, let's go ahead and let's just rotate our bear paws on the corner. So I toggled it on. This is locked. So I'm just going to toggle these. Okay. And then this was in the center. And now let me see what else I did. Oh, okay, good. So that that guy, the 40 flight, 40, 50 flight or whatever, I have to bring it in. So let me first do my diagonals, my 9 patch off the center because that won't confuse me as much. So let's toggle that off. Let's reset, click here. Okay. Those I'll have to rotate. Okay, turn that off. Okay, we're getting there. What else did I do? So then I just have to bring in the 5440 flight block. So I think I put it in photos, but if you go into photos, let me go back to the app. If I go into upload finished block, and I go into my photos. Well, there it is there. I must have opened it. But sometimes, or not sometimes, all the time, if you don't open photos separately, you have to open photos separately for your recent blocks to populate from the app or from any app. And this could have been a previous one that I did. So I'm going to show you what I mean. So this is, let's see, that was from the app. I go into photos. Okay. Okay, so they are. So that was from this app. Okay, because there's my screenshots and everything. So that is from this app. Perfect. So I'll go back and select a photo. Let me just go back all the way. So I'm going to upload the 5440 fight block. So I'll click here. I'll go into photos and there it is there. So now, where did I put it? Let's see. It went here and then there. So it made a diamond there. So let's see. So let me reset, select it. This is locked, this is locked. So it made, and it made an L shape around this. I know that. Okay. So it circled around there. So it must have here. Is that right? Okay. And then it went here and here, here and here. I think that's it. That looks like it. Let's see. Let's toggle back and forth. Yeah, and you can see all my yellows match on my good one. Okay. So then that's what I would take to the quilt shop or online, and I would, you know, get my colors. Now, do I want to use my fabric that I bought? I could, I could use some of this, the bigger parts of it, maybe for these bigger blocks. And then I know I have a lighter version. I have the tan. I have this one. Let me see. Or wait, let me go into my albums, into my fabric. So I have this one. It's a little lighter than that. It's somewhere between those two colors. I could use that as my background if I wanted, because that does match. Although this one I think is Kansas Troubles, and I think the blue one is Prairie Dreams. But here's Prairie Dreams. They kind of go. But I believe this purple goes with Prairie Dreams. I mean, I could make it all dark, in which case I'd have to make all the backgrounds dark, but I'd probably use these for like the little squares. Oops. What was that? That was this one. Whoops. See, good thing I have it locked. So here, there we go. I use my pointer so I don't touch anything. So yeah, I mean, I really like that. I'm so surprised. I am so surprised. It is gorgeous. And this block isn't hard to make, to be honest. It really isn't. Oh, it's not here. That's right, because I had to upload it. Oh yeah, this is the one that has the rectangles. So it is a little hard, but those aren't even that hard. It's just you have to get used to putting together a triangle and a rectangle, or whatever they call that, half rectangle. So yeah, so that's kind of like the changes. The update is that you can make fabric swatches and then just use your fabric swatches. Everything else is the same. Here's quilt block 1 all by itself. And this, if you click it, it rotates every other one. So then you have that. Click it again, and then you can also just do it individually. And, you know, here's quilt block 2. Again, this won't do anything because if you rotate, they're all the same symmetrically. This one is on point. 3 is on point. This probably isn't the best block. Let's see. If you click it, it rotates every other one. So now they look a little better, but let me click it again. Okay, so half of them are rotated up and half are rotated the other way. You know, when you click it, it just does alternate rotations, but you can still come in. Oh, I could have done that. Let's see. So the sideways ones I would put upside down. And like I said, I keep thinking about getting rid of this screen and replacing it with something else. But because I can't figure out how to get a square in there, it's something I need to work on. I don't know if I'm doing this right. That would be interesting. So, yeah, and the other thing on the mixer quilt, now we'll go back, it goes back to the default, but I did save the screenshot. You can take your solid block and make it into a 4x4. So you can select that, lock that, lock that. And if you wanted to make it like a 5x5, right now it's 5x7, you'd probably want to, if you wanted to make it a 5x5, you'd probably go like that. You know, get rid of the top and bottom, so then you have this to work with. And then if you wanted to make it a 4x4, you would get rid of one of the L's, you know, one side or whatever, maybe. And then you'd have a 4x4 block to work with. I wish I could put in a 6x7, you know, keep it at 7, but make it 6 across. But then these would get so small. I mean, I could, and that could be a possibility for, you know, the future. You can't have too many screens, though, on a phone app, because then the program just bogs down. So I don't know, maybe I would put it on the third screen, you know, like the on point screen. I have to, because that doesn't really have much on it. Or I could put it on one of these two. There's just so many options, but that's all for the future. So yeah. Oh, this is so exciting. Now, since I already have everything temp saved, when you're on this page, you can just hit compare all and it shows. So yeah, there's that. Very interesting. And let's see, odds and evens. So I can unlock that, put that one on. These are both diagonal blocks. I just want to finish with something different. Let me go into, I do have that with the yellow background. That's silver. Let's try that one. So we got evens and evens. Oh, bummer. Okay. So I would just do this then. I would click there. This is locked, lock that. And then I would just fill these in. It's so quick. And it's kind of fun. I love hearing the click. Just to end on a different note. That's kind of cute. And I'll reset and do that back in the corners maybe. And then put rotate on. And then I usually like to have it rotate around and make circles. I love the spool because it's so easy to make these pretty secondary designs. But there's a lot of blocks or a lot of blocks that you can do that with by just making their, like I could have made this red square. I could have made it, you know, just yellow or whatever. But that's kind of cute. And I could even, this one is still selected, but this is on. I could even put it, since it's a diagonal block, and then rotate. That's different. And then I can screenshot that. Just too many options. But the one thing that I'm just going to screenshot it without naming it. I'll just put it in here. Because it's times date stamped. The one good thing about, go back to screen 2, is having the option to bring 2 different palettes or fabric uploads. So you could have one be your fabric upload. So say I brought in, I don't know, this fabric, and then, you know, so that I brought in on upload fabric 2, and then you can always switch back to the default to use it up there. But, whoops, you can also upload fabric 3 to bring in, say, your a different fabric. You know, you can either bring in a different fabric. What was I going to use with this one? I can't recall what I was going to make with this. I don't know if it was that one or not. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was this one. But so they're sharing the same canvas here, but I can switch back to the other fabric by hitting switch 2. But here's the thing. You have to first switch it on whatever one you were showing. So this was upload fabric 3. I have to switch back to the default and then hit switch 2. and vice versa. See, with this showing, I can't switch. I can click it, nothing happens. But if I switch back to the default, then hit switch, then it shows. And so you can use this. You know, I got, oh, that is such a pretty color. I love that color. You know, and I can use that and, you know, start assigning it. And I could say, well, I'm going to use this, but I'm also going to use that other fabric. Now, whoops, that other fabric was up there. Switch. And, you know, well, that's kind of got the same silver. Let's see how it's a little different. It's a little different. Those would make good shadows of each other. You know, that would be interesting. And then there's that brown, which is very pretty. And again, this one was what was that? You'll always know if it doesn't switch, then you'll know which one it was, one or two. You can go back. Try that. Let's see if I can get that red. There we go. There's the red. And that could be a whole new, you know, color combo for you. And you could, you know, buy fabrics that go with this, or, you know, use this in place of, say, the dark color or what have you. It's just endless fun. So like if I were going to put this on the pinwheel, since I know it by heart, it's left, far right, and then straight down the center, kind of to the right and left. And then this, you finish the corners, finish the half square triangles. 3 is hard because you go up, down. Okay, and then far right, far left, and then 4 is easy. I mean, what a pretty color combo. And a lot of times I just use this as my swatch. So when I saved him too, and I go to compare all, I just save that and say, I like to save it in Drive because I'm more familiar, and I can just put it in my swatches folder, and that's the folder I want. And I can name it a color swatch according to that fabric. I can't remember the name of that fabric, those two. And I can just upload it. So then it's in my Drive. I can always download it and use this as a color swatch. So I could go back to Drive, and there it is there. I can download it, and then go into my gallery, go into my swatches, add items, add this one. That was my recent done move. And now I can go back to say, I can go back home if I want. And I can say down here, I want to upload that fabric swatch. I put it in my swatches album. And now that's my swatch switch, so it's up on top. And I can go ahead and click and assign so that all of these 4 colors are up here. Assign. There's my silver. And there's my tan. And then I'll just temp save it so I don't forget. And now I could bring in, you know, anything I want. Oh, I reset to the in-app. Reset to pinwheel, reset to upload. I didn't upload anything, so nothing's coming up. But I could bring in one of my blocks that are from, that are free on the website. That's a cute one. I always forget the name of it. That one's cute. I think that's, I don't know what that one was. This was like, I get always confused. They're like mother's choice or grandmother's favorite or whatever. I honestly, and I have several versions of this where the lines are going different. You've got squares in the center, and it's so confusing. So I'd probably go with that. And then I don't know. I don't know how I would do. Oh, this is the one where you don't have the line. So when I click, it fills in the whole thing. That's right. I forgot about that. And then I'd probably do these every other one. But then I'd have to do the background, and I'd probably come down and I'd switch now to my lightest silver like I always do. And I probably will know that that's what I'm using, you know, because I can't assign anymore, because I always use that one. It's kind of my favorite now, my go-to for background. And then there you go. And I could have switched them to get my palette up there and did something different if I wanted. I don't like that in the center. It's harder to color in over dark though. Let's see if I can. There we go. I like that better. I don't know. But you might have a fabric that's, you know, multicolored to put in there. And then I would save that, and, you know, sky's the limit. So I know this was long. Look, I'm an hour, 40 minutes. This was long. I know, guys. But there's just so much to this app. I keep updating it, and believe me, there's going to be more in the future. But for right now, this is what we got. So I hope you enjoyed it, and feel free to, you know, ask me any questions. You can go on my website, WeQuiltStudio.com, to get any new blocks that I upload. And, you know, you can write me at WeQuiltStudio@gmail.com, or you can just write me from my website. I'm always there to help. All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.